in a dark night, draw us to a new dawn, where the sun is eternal, above the clouds of despair. Whispers softly within our heart and soul. Om Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Shri Guruve Namaha. Almighty Guru, the tides come and go, but you are always near. We are recording from the ashram of our revered Guru, Pujya Atman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda in Miami, Florida. Today is January the 15th, 2021, Friday evening, and tonight Swamiji will be lecturing on the Tulsi Ramayana. This is series 2016, class number 235. And now Pujya Atman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda.
Om नीलाम्बुजश्यामलकोमलाङ्गं सीतासमारोपित वामभागं पाणौ महासायकचारुचापं नमामि रामं रघुवंशनाथम्. Adorations to Lord Rama, whose complexion is like the blue lotus, very tender and delightful in appearance. Sita is seated on his left side, is carrying powerful bow and arrow in his hands. Sri Ramcharitamanas, Ayodhya Kand, and verse number is 299. The context in the storyline is Bharata has gone to get Rama back to Ayodhya, but now the situation has ripened that Bharata is going to do what Rama wills him to do. And we are at this stage. And from profounder point of view, bhakti, the role of bhakti devotion, which is personified by Bharata, is being highlighted in the spiritual movement. The Bharata movement starts in your personality. Rama will have no choice. You as if control Rama. It's an allegorical point. God is bound to give his grace as if you have controlled God. So that type of bhakti that leads to Ramanurakti, Ramarati, bhakti that leads you to be completely in tune with God, Brahman. That bhakti is represented by Bharata. And what does that imply? That's what you have to understand. Yon sudhari san mani jan kiye sadhu sir mahor ko gripala binu pali hai birida vali barajor. In a storyline, people from Janaka side, people from Ayodhya, all are gathered together along with saints, sages, and heavenly beings watching overhead. They are all there. And in that setting, Bharata is pouring down his heart, expressing his heartfelt devotion to Rama. O Rama, Bharata is offering praises for Rama. You bring improvement in your devotees, those who come to you to serve you, those who dedicate themselves to you. You ignore their negative qualities and you bring divine enrichment in their personality. What does that profoundly implies? If you are practicing integral yoga in your daily life, highlighted with bhakti, devotion, you should not have to think of how many negative karmas have I done. You should not have a mathematical mind studying yourself constantly. But you should have only simple understanding that the moment you will open the window in a dark cave, the light of the sun is waiting to flood the window, flood the gate. God is waiting. He's not going to ask, why have you shut me out? And what you have kept shutting? What are the things in this cave? Giving this allegorical description, the role of love of God, the mind has to understand and lead your mind to be impressed with that insight. And there lies great success in sadhana. But as long as that has not developed in your mind, effort has to continue with satsanga, japa, prayer, your daily sadhana. All this must continue with this intention of developing love of God, kindling the light of divine love in your heart. Who can describe the glory of Rama? And who can dare describe the indescribable grace of God? In other words, the touch of divine love and what it does to you, words cannot describe. It's indescribable. शोक स्नेह के बाल सुभाएं, आयों लाई रजाय सुबाएं, तबहु कृपाल हेरी हेरी निज ओरा, सबहि भांति भल माने मोरा. I, compelled by grief and attachment, with a childish nature, ignored the order of Rama. Rama's order was to follow the father's wishes. Father has already given the 2 boons, and to follow the boons the way father had already granted. Kaikeyi. That was what already settled, but Bharata ignored that order. And in spite of all this, compassionate Rama ignored all my defects. And even what I have done in an improper way, Rama has praised all my actions. देख्यूं पाप सुमंगल मूला, जान्यूं स्वामी सहज अनुकूला, बड़े समाज बिले क्यों भागो, बड़ी चूक साहिब अनुरागो. What a blessed fortune that I have the darshan of your lotus feet, the feet that's the source of all good happenings, all that is auspicious. And to know that you are gracious, loving towards me, this has been great fortune for me. In spite of the great error I made, Lord Rama ignored the error, and he has recognized my love. Kripa anugrahu anga aghai, कीन्ही कृपा निधि सब अधिकाई, राखा मोर दुलार गोसाई, अपने सील सुभाए भलाई. Lord Rama, he is talking to Rama himself, O Kripa Nidhan, the abode of grace, you showered your grace upon me. I, who was committing such an error, in spite of all that, you showered your grace. And you are abode of gentleness, graciousness, and goodness. नाथ निपट मैं कीन ढिठाई, स्वामी समाज सकोच बिहाई, अविनय विनय यथा रुचि बानी, क्षमी देव अति आरती जानी. O Lord, I, who ignored the commands and the instructions of yourself and of the royal society, and have always expressed my obstinate nature. This has been my artha bhavana. My bhavana, my feeling has been in distress. And therefore, please forgive me. Bharata is pointing to Artha Bhakti, a devotional heart, simply surrenders that you, without you, I have no support. A baby, all that he wants to get into the arms of the mother. No calculations, what else? So that type of state is called arth. Normally translated in distress. But such a distress is profoundest blessing in your life. Similar to burning aspiration. And this points to, for more better understanding, statement of the Gita, Krishna, Lord Krishna, in 7th chapter, 16th verse. Chaturvidha bhajante mam janah sukrito arjuna arto jigyasu artharthi jnani cha bharatarshabhi. Krishna says to Arjuna, there are 4 types of devotees who worship me. Artha, one who is in distress. The distress I have explained is not psychological abnormality, but overflow of normality, supernormality. It's normal to go after the world of eat, drink, and be merry. Supernormal to go after a process that will lead you to moksha, liberation. So turning towards supernormal and loving that project, that process, is a profound blessing. So artha, distress, has to be understood. Turn worldly distress into spiritual distress. And that's totally a positive development. Next type of devotee is jignasu. The more you understand the role of God within your personality, greater is your devotion to God. But you need to know. God has to show you His identity. And that's called Jignasu movement. Aspirants are in different levels of evolution. The greatest of them are Artha. For Artha, God doesn't wait. His response comes immediate. Jignasu, you have to wait. The more you understand, the more you move towards God, gradually you begin to develop the delight of divine surrender. Next type of devotee is called Artharthi. You turn to devotion because you want to have fulfillment of purpose. This again can be of two types, earthly purpose or fulfillment of dharma. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. All these bring purpose in your life. And you practice devotion to succeed in fulfilling the purpose. Then you are artharthi. And the highest type of devotee, jnani. One who has revelation that God is the only reality. Ego in you is just a shadow. So the real I am is God within. The more you develop maturity of jnana, greater is your ego effacement. So, सुहृद सुजान सुसाहेबहि बहुत कहब बड़ी खोरी आय सुदेय देव अब सबई सुधारी मोरी. And God is Suhrid. He does good to you without any cause. People do good to others, but there is some motive behind it. But God's love for the devotee has no motive. The sun shines, lights up your house without any motive. Doesn't wait to see you are doing Surya Namaskar. Whether you do it or not doesn't matter. And supremely wise, the best of masters, the best of Lord. That's what you are, O Rama. O God of gods, command me, instruct me. You have fulfilled all my wishes. Prabhupada padam paragaj dohai, satya sukrita sukha seema suhai, so kari kahun hiye apne ki, रुचि जागत सोवत सपने की। Having invoked the dust particles of your lotus feet, and in the name of those dust particles, and in the name of all your glorious attributes, truth, virtue, and abode of joy. In the name of all your glories, as Bharata is pointing out to an oath, in the name of Rama's I am expressing my desire, which I maintain in all the three states, in waking state, dream state, and deep sleep state. Whatever Bharata is saying is the ideal for a devotee to understand and practice. Even worldly love, when it becomes deep, it dominates your mind, dominates your waking state, dominates your dream. Only it can't dominate your sleep state. You skip. You go beyond your ego. Divine love dominates in a positive way. One is a domination of fumes, mist. Another is a domination of rays of light. So if you are dominated by devotion, love of God, it's all the three states within your personality become especially charged with love. Waking state, all your duties are worship of God. In all your relations, you are experiencing love of God expressing through your near and dear ones. Even in relation to society where you have all types of people with different attitudes, even negative, worse type of attitude, your heart is pouring out the goodwill, sarve bhavantu sukhina. So, if you have that type of experience, your waking state is filled with devotion. It is blessed with devotion. Naturally, your dream state, the same attitude, bhavana, will continue. Even in your dream, when you are encountering people, you will adopt the similar attitude of goodness, of generosity, and of having devotional affirmations. And this will devotional movement or any sadhana you do continues to impact upon your unconscious. And what impacts on your unconscious is any experience based upon profound love. Love touches the heart. And when experience enters deep within your heart, it has impacted your unconscious without your knowing it in a profound way. So, you have three-aspected blessing of devotion. You are enriching your waking state, your dream state, your deep sleep state. You are enriching your physical body, you are enriching your mind, intellect, senses that go to compose astral body, and you are enriching your unconscious. To be rich. साज स्नेह स्वामी सेवकाई स्वार्थ छल फल चारि बिहाई अज्ञा समन सुसाहिब सेवा सो प्रसादु जन पावें देवा. The ideal that Bharata holds in his heart, he's talking about his ruchi, his deep delight. Having abandoned kapat, kapat is kind of hypocrisy, swarth, selfishness, as well as turning the mind away from dharma, artha, kama and moksha. You should not confuse a person. Here is a talk of divine love, love-dominated heart. Doesn't even ask for mukti or anything. Even it is asking in prayer, oh God, forget about all the dharma, artha, kama. All you want, give me your love. And that's the best duty of a devotee. Not to go on holding on in your mind why you are practicing devotion. And conducting yourself according to the will of God. So, O Devadidev, O Lord, give me your instruction. What should I do? So I have nothing to ask for. अस कहि प्रेम विनय भय भारी पुलक शरीर विलोचन वारी. Bharata was overwhelmed with divine love. Whole body thrilled. Tears began to drizzle through his eyes, cool tears. And he held lotus feet of the Lord Rama. In that stage, all people were listening and hearing and looking at how Bharata is conducting towards Rama. And that occurrence of Bharata touching Rama's feet created a kind of a fountain of amazing power of love. कृपा सिंधु सनमानि सुबानी बैठाए गई समीप गही पानी भरत विनय सुनी देखी सुभाऊ शिथिल सने सभार घुराऊ. Sri Rama gave honor to Bharata by praising him and he drew Bharata by his own hand to come near him. And this communication between Rama and Bharata, all people watched. And what was the impact on the people that Ramcharitmanas continues to bring? Raghurau shithil saneha sadhu samaj muni mithila dhani manmahu sarahat bharata bhayap भगति की महिमा घनी भरत ही प्रशंसत विबुध बरसत सुमन मानस मलिन से तुलसी बिकल सब लोग सुनि सकुचे निगागम नलिन से. All the entire society, only exception Lord Rama, who is untouched by all this. Sadhu Samaj, saintly society, Sage Vasishtha, King Janaka, they became overwhelmed with devotional love. All people were drawn to this exemplary communication between Rama and Bharata, communication of love. And even gods who were not interested in Bharata's success, because according to them, first it appeared that if Bharata succeeds, then Rama will go to Ayodhya. But now they see this totally a different transformation, and they are praising Bharata and showering flowers. And all people listening to what Rama said about Bharata, they were all thrilled by Bharata's devotion. And another angle, now they realize that they have to go back without Rama. And therefore, just like lotuses begin to wither without sunlight. In the same way, their hearts began to wither. देखी दुखारी दीन दुह समाज नर नारी सब मघवा महान महामलीन मुए मारी मंगल चाहत. Seeing both societies of Janaka and Ayodhya so distressed because they have to be separated from Rama, and they started to create some tricks to help this situation, implying to make their going back to their homes easy. Subtle point is, as in your sadhana, there is always a divine plan operates. Plan operates in two ways: presenting bhoga or leading your soul to the path of Shreya, the path of liberation. But divine plan operates in the form of a tricky process called Shadayantra. Soon I'm going to give you more into. Pratham kumat kari kahar kapahu kapatu sakela so uchat sabke sir mela Suramaya sab log vimohe Ram prem atisayana bichohe. Gods led by Indra, they started scheming how to make this stage of their return to their places easy. If they continue to hover over Rama's ashram, that will not allow divine plan to succeed of Ravana's destruction. So what should we do? Surmaya sab log vimohe. So Indra created a Deva Maya and influenced the minds of all. Only thing that couldn't be dominated by the Maya of Indra was their love for Rama. Love for Rama remained intact, but their general attitude that they should stay in Ayodhya, in Ram ashram in the forest, that attitude began to wave. To understand this point more profoundly, we use the word Shadayantra. Sixfold scheme is called Shadayantra. First is called prapanch. It's a deceptive plot. The whole plot is laid out with deception in view so that person does not see what is right. Next is maya, illusion, creating a kind of magical influence. Next is called bhaya, fear. Next is brahma, deluded vision. Lastly, arati, not arati, arati. Rati, delight. Arati, aversion. Contrary to delight. These 6 points begin to enter your nature to make changes in your attitudes, led by karma and led by the cosmic law. If you have developing devotion, certain impurities have to be sublimated. Certain profound qualities have to develop in your personality. All this cannot be brought to you in a piece of paper, clear writings. They are presented in a way of this 6-aspected plot. Sometimes you do something led by illusion. Sometimes you do something led by fear. It can be positive, it can be negative, depending upon the qualification that you have developed in your personality. And sometimes automatically your mind that has been after eat, drink and be merry, suddenly the mind develops, the moment you hear these words, a sense of aversion, arati. So understand these 6 points, prapanch, maya, bhaya, brahman and arati. That षadyantra operates through to divine Leela for every soul. For the masses, major part of षadyantra is of Indra, turning your attention to bhoga, enjoyment. Because in early stage for the masses, big trouble, they are constantly creating hellish karmas. To distract from hellish karma to heavenly karma, षadyantra is needed. So many things have to happen which have no clear understanding in your mind, but you are led. That's what people said, putting ducks together, the row of ducks. And with this I will be concluding. Om Ram 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 Ram. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om. Prayer for shower of Karunamaya Ras, grace of God over all of you, with the blessings of Shakti, Bhakti and Mukti. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukam Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyama Mritat Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kashchid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Hari Om Tat Sat.
Are there any questions? Then we conclude and rejoin with Swamiji on tomorrow night for guided meditation at 7:30.